Bear Grylls. I'm going to show you what it takes to get out alive to some of the most dangerous places on Earth. I've got to make it through a week of challenges in the sort of places you wouldn't last a day without the right survival skills. Now, I'm in Arnhem Land, Northern Australia, where the man-eating saltwater crocodiles dominate the food chain. Man, you see the size of it? I'm hanging on to crumbling sandstone, and I'm battling to stay out of the water and away from those hungry crocs. Dakota, gonna draw me into northern tip of Australia, into a prehistoric landscape. That's Arnhem Land. I call it prehistoric because Arnhem Land is one of those rare places that's remained unaltered since time began. That's 20 miles. I'm actually sorry, that's Arnhem. With scorching heat and deadly snakes, it's no surprise that people have struggled to survive here. Then, at the top of the food chain, the flesh-eating crocodiles, and there's over 100,000 of them here.
Some of those crocs are way over a ton. You make one careless move, you're going to end up at lunch.
Despite the harshness of this environment, one group developed survival techniques that enabled them to live here.
The Aboriginal people have adapted to this dangerous terrain. They've had over 50,000 years to hone their skills. My task is to use some of their survival techniques and make it out of here alive. You're going to survive the Northern Territories. You've got to throw yourself in there at 120%. Here we go.
First thing that hits you about this place is just the heat and the humidity. I can feel it just coming in close to the ground. It's like being in a very hot steamer. Okay, let's get this thing laid out. We can use this as an air marker. So search and rescue are looking for me, something big and bright for them to see from the air.
When someone is lost in the wilderness, aerial reconnaissance is vital. Make yourself seen from the air, and it may save your life.
Might well be, though, that nobody knows you're missing, and nobody's out there even looking for you. If that's the case, then you need to work out which direction to go. And in the Northern Territories, your best option is to head north to the coast. 90% of Australians live on the coast.
But if you do have to make that difficult decision to travel, be certain of the direction you're heading in and don't deviate. I'm going to use a shadow stick to work out which direction is north.
Cast a shadow straight down here. And we'll mark the end of that shadow with a rock. Wait 15 minutes or so, the shadow will move and we get an idea of our direction. Let's see the shadow, the stick has moved a bit. Put a rock on the other end, and you get a line here. If you stand on that line, face the stick, you're going to be heading north. And obviously the longer you leave it, wider the line, more accurate it's going to be. What I don't have in my favour though is time. I don't want to wait in this heat any longer. I want to get moving.
Before you head out, leave a marker for rescuers to follow. Use whatever you find around you to make an arrow.
North, towards that rocky outcrop. It's hot. Hot.
Temperatures here are in the high 90s, but it's the humidity levels that make the heat so intense.
Keep heading north, we're going to need to get over this.
Humidity reduces the body's ability to cool itself by slowing the evaporation of sweat. The
more physical the activity, the greater the chances of heat stroke. I'll need at least a gallon of water a day to survive here. The scorching heat and high humidity levels mean thunderstorms are common here. But even nature's most potent force can work in your favour.
There seems to be fire here. Probably a lightning strike hit that. Set it alight. But actually charcoal's often a good thing. Take with you. There's lots you can do with that. Filter water with it. Even help you with fire. Drive a spark into bits of charcoal. You'll often get an ember. It's going to help you get the fire lit. Let's take some of this with us.
The landscape is riddled with high ridge lines and towering cliffs. To keep heading north, you'll need to fight your way around them, or take the shorter route and go straight over the top. But this sandstone is soft. Eroded by the elements, a path has been cut straight through the face. This is no easy option.
Let's have a look down here.
Ahead of me lies a sheer 80-foot drop.
Yeah, I reckon we can work our way down this. There's a chimney down this bit, bridge across it. We need to stay in tight to this chimney. Use your opposing forces. Back and legs down this. God, it's an awkward little gully, you see this? Oh look, the snake! Where's he gone now? Oh, mess around with him. There he is. Keelback snake. Not deadly, but you certainly wouldn't want to get bitten by one. Snake bite out here is bad news. Last bit, just down this vine.
The cave climb has worked for me. It's taken me right under the cliff and out the other side.
Check this out. Let's get down here. There's a bit of water. And there's probably going to be rainwater that's just come down here and collected. Thing is, because it's shady, the water's not going to evaporate. Come on then. Just still got this charcoal. Can make a really simple sort of filter with that.
The biggest danger is drinking water containing bacteria that will cause diarrhea or vomiting, and that can lead to severe dehydration.
Crunch this up in nice small granules. A bit of gravelly, bigger stuff. And on top of that, just some of these grasses. You see how dirty that water is. Put it through here. Let that just run, just get any of the dirt out of it. Give it a couple of goes before we start drinking from it.
For me, this is what survival is all about. A simple idea using natural resources, and it works.
Now you see how clear that is coming out. It's never going to be 100%. It takes a lot of the dirt out, and the carbon in the charcoal filters out a lot of other impurities as well that you can't see. Oh man, that is good. You're in a desert this hot. You find a little hole like this with rainwater in it, you gotta make use of it. You know, stay here till you're well hydrated before you move on again.
I've had my fill, now it's time to get going.
See if we can get around this corner.
I'm in Arnhem Land, Australia.
Get around this corner.
Heading north towards the coast, but I've ended up at a difficult dead end.
Probably we're going around that way. Okay, back up.
In tough country like this, you'll never win every battle. There's no shame in making another plan and searching out an alternative route down.
Look, it's a mad old cave here. Goes all the way in there. It's more than likely going to be Aboriginal, this. See all the soot here on the ceiling from the fires. It's going to be a good place, though, just to shelter from the heat of the day, get out of the sun a bit. Okay, let's use this as a base, go and try and find some food.
Generations of Aboriginal hunters going back to the Stone Age have left a record of their prey on thousands of sites across Arnhem Land.
There's cave art here. It's like a fish, a barramundi. So look, a turtle there. Yeah, but this is what the Aboriginals would do. Paint their prey onto walls like this in caves. The belief that if they rubbed it, it would encourage the prey to multiply when they next pass through. It's amazing. Some of this stuff will be up 40,000 years old.
A barramundi is a really positive sign. It means there must be water nearby and a chance of catching some food.
It's a whole river. Still want to be a bit careful with rivers even this far inland. Still got saltwater crocodiles here. But look, it's only knee deep. It's crystal clear.
For the survivor, lost in this hot and dry environment, it doesn't get any better than this. It cools you down and makes life bearable again.
Very nice. This is probably why that Aboriginal camp is there. They're close to a water source. Okay, we can refill. Oh, simple pleasure.
Arnhem Land's freshwater streams are home to black bream and jungle perch, but other creatures also patrol these shallows.
Water snake! Yeah, let me just see his tail. Under here. Whoa! Good size one! Get him up on this bank. It's a file snake. Look, like really rough skin. That's why they call that. And these guys, what they do, use their tail, wrap around, look, like it's trying to do with my fingers, cling onto a branch, and as it gets its prey, it will constrict it, and then swallow it. It's a good find. Especially what the Aboriginal women would often do with these snakes is bite the head, give it a yank to break the neck. You'd be a bit careful doing this though, that you don't get bitten yourself in the process. And the way to do it is quickly in and out, so the neck's broken. Okay, good. That's food.
Food secured.
I'm trying to eat rubber bands.
But soon I go from the hunter to the hunted as I enter croc country. I'm in Arnhem Land, Northern Australia. I've just plucked a file snake from the river. It will feed me tonight, but first I need to cook it.
I'm gonna grab this for making a fire.
Bet your bottom dollar this isn't the first time somebody's trying to start a fire in this cave with a hand drill like this. The Aboriginals would have been using this as a friction fire for tens of thousands of years. And it's a pretty rare kind of connection through the ages. I want this to be as smooth as I can so it doesn't create any blisters when I start to spin it. You use this as a base plate, create a bit of a notch in it here, just to make a little indentation. Start it off. A little pinch of sand or gravel. Let's put on there, it's going to create even more friction and heat. And then as you create an ember, it will drop down into the tinder and you get it flaming. That's the theory. Trust me, the practice is always much harder. It can take hours to light a fire this way, and you often end up with more blisters than embers. Patience is the key. You want to take your time initially. Just build up that heat and keep the drips of sweat off, falling onto the ember. Building up the heat and building up that friction. And then once you've got that heat, you can then start really putting in the effort and start to speed it up a bit. Okay. Let's tip that in. Gather this up gently. There's no hurry at this stage. This ember will keep burning for a little bit. And there's fire. Okay. There, right in the middle. And then just cover him up. With lots of embers and some more wood as well. Okay, it's going nicely now. Leave that 15 minutes or so to cook. In the meantime, go and grab some materials to make something to sleep on. So many paper bark trees here. Strip some of this bark off. And the Aboriginals would use paper bark tree for so much. You know, I'd use it for tinder for fire, waterproofing shelters, clothing, blankets. You know, it's even got antiseptic and antibacterial properties as well. Normally you'd never want to strip bark all the way around a tree and can kill it. With a paper bark tree, this is really just like it's shedding its dead skin. It's not just the bark that's useful for bed making. The branches are strong but supple and will make great struts to sleep on. It's a nice natural gully here. You can very easily just use these paper bark branches, pull it across and make a bed platform. Good thing about that, it's going to keep me off the ground. Give me room underneath though. Put some embers. That's just going to filter through the smoke, keep the mosquitoes away. And then just a paper bark, going to make it all a load more comfy. Oh man, that stuff is so nice. Okay, kill them. See if the snake's ready. Australians renowned for their barbecues. Maybe not that sort. Smells and looks pretty bad, but it's energy, and that's the important thing. Very bony, very rubbery. I'm trying to eat rubber bands. I'll just leave all of those guts. I've got food, fire and water, which means at least for now, I've got a fighting chance. I've thrown myself headfirst into one of the harshest places on Earth, Arnhem Land, Northern Australia. If the landscape doesn't get you, the wildlife will. Look at that head. And a new day will bring new challenges. Oh wait. Got a mad place in here. Oh look, spider in here. It's a huntsman spider. He's called a huntsman. He won't build a web, he'll actively go out and hunt his prey. And that's a nasty bit of him. Take the head off. Take the fangs out. And that really is fine to eat. It's not very appetizing, but that's fine. Okay, moving on. This maze-like landscape, riddled with rocky outcrops, is so disorienting. You can't see far ahead, and it's easy to stray off course. Actually, look, that one's even higher. Get up there, come. Finding a high point will provide a much-needed view and let you plan your route through. It's all sandstone, well weathered. Still want to be a bit careful of this stuff. It's pretty loose. This is a tricky climb, over 60 feet. But if you risk nothing, you gain nothing. It's worth the gamble. Okay, up. Have a look at this place. I think it's trying to keep your direction amongst all of this scrub. Probably the easiest thing to do is follow between that rock pinnacle and that one, and then in the far distance you see like a saddle. Pass between that. That's going to lead me down to the floodplain. Okay, let's get down off this thing. As you head to the floodplain, the vegetation becomes thicker and greener. But now, we're entering more dangerous territory. Come here, come here. Straight through there. Crocodile. So you just see the ridges on its back. Very distinct. Down, down, down. Yes, it's salty. Tell it's not freshwater. Freshwater have that long, narrow snout. Look at the size of him, though. Freshwater will live off just fish. This guy, anything's on the menu, including us. Don't be deceived by the name saltwater crocodiles. These guys will be found up to 100 miles inland. There are loads and loads of stories of campers thinking they're safe back from the water's edge and then getting taken by saltwater crocodiles. This is the first I've seen here, but there are over 100,000 crocodiles in Arnhem Land, and you're never going to be far away from one. Look at it like that. It looks almost docile, just laying there. But when these guys go into attack mode, you will know all about it. Lightning fast, strong, just pull you, roll you, take you into the water. Just because there's one of them doesn't mean they're going to be on their own. You see one, they're often going to be more. That's why we've got to keep so vigilant around here. Let's leave her. The land here is dotted with deep pools of floodwater called billabongs, the crocodile's favourite ambush site. Just see bubbles in there. Here, caution is king. You look at this sort of place and think it's perfect. Just come along, fill out your water bottle, but you'd be dead wrong. There's a saltwater crocodile in here. They would attack with explosive speed out of the water. See if we can. And look, then he's just gone. Under the surface. Ultimate stealth predator. Just lying there, waiting. And then just grab anything that comes near it. Buffalo or human. Come on, I'm gonna leave that guy in there. Skirt around this. Faced with an aggressive predator, my nerves are on edge. Even the smallest ripple makes me wonder what's lying below. Find a way across this river somehow. Way off course now. Distance isn't that great, you know, it's only 20-30 yards. Water looks just so benign. Still calm, you think there can't be any dangers in that. But there are saltwater crocodiles in here. And the consequences of overconfidence, basically death, you know. Look, see all these trees almost reaching across the river here. Just not quite. Keep going, see if we can find a better one. It does go across the river all the way. Against the camera. Let's just do this. Seems pretty solid at this stage. It's just gonna get more bendy the higher I get. There's a local story where 3 guys were swimming when they spotted a large crocodile in the water. 2 of them made it to a tree, the other was taken. It then went quiet for 5 minutes until the croc returned with their friend's torso still in its jaws. The croc then waited in ambush for the other 2 under the tree for 2 days, until finally they were rescued by helicopter. Bit of bubbles there. I'm worrying about the crocs, but I've got to stay focused. It's no time to lose concentration. Okay. I'm battling across a crocodile-infested river in Australia's Northern Territory. Got the bubbles there. But focusing on the crocs and not the climb is a bad mistake. One slip and I'm hanging on for dear life. The sanctuary's solid ground can't come too soon. This climb is over, but ahead of me lies hundreds more rivers. I don't want to go through that ordeal again. I need a better plan. I'm seeing a lot of these sort of big, dead old trees. The good thing about these, they're big, strong and buoyant. Well, this sort of thing, I'm going to be able to build a raft, and that's going to take me downstream way faster than trying to meander along all these banks and crossing back and forth the river. Got them. Probably the best way of making this is just to do these bunches of 3 logs like this. Bind these together to a couple of those. You've got like these 2 holes, and then just do cross struts to that. And this sort of bamboo vine is going to be great to lash all this together. Rule of thumb for sort of vine you're looking for when you're building things like rafts is you want to remember strength, length, bend, and also bite. A load of this paper bark on top. I like this for 3 reasons. Gets me even higher out of the water, camouflages me from the sword of crocodiles, and it's comfy to sit on. This is ready to launch. So worth just throwing sticks into the shallow water. If there is any crocodile there, this will just give me a good indication. This raft will take me downstream towards the coast, but you could be on this for days, so you need a way to hunt for food. Check out the barbs on that. Actually make a hook out of this. The fibrous barbs of the pandanus plant are incredibly strong, ideal for making a fish hook. Take a small section of it, tie some paracord to that, we can fish. Okay, that's going to work nicely as a hook, and I just need something to act as a lure for it. Be a bit careful getting off this raft to go and find something. It's only knee deep there here. Okay, let's just be quick about this. Spider web's always going to make a good lure, so that you grab the whole thing and wrap it up in the web. Grab it like that, put it onto the hook, and then literally just wrap it in the web. The golden orb spider's web is said to be almost as strong as Kevlar and has been known to trap birds. Okay, get back on the raft. Raft. Thing is, you can never switch off in these swamps. Switch off for a moment, you shoot down the wrong end of the food chain in a place like this. You're just not human if you don't feel a little bit scared. Floating down a river that's got a lot of crocs in it when you're just on a little raft. You know, just because you are so vulnerable. And you're definitely not the king in waters like this. That title belongs to the salty. But you know, it's all about trying to use that fear, use it to sharpen you, and not let it overtake you. A little bit of fear is no bad thing. The river is opened up to a deep billabong. Fish should be larger and more plentiful here. Time to try my rod and bait, but there are lots of crocs around. There's freshwater crocodiles on the bank here. Look, she's on the bank, freshwater crocodile. Sunning on the rock. When you're fishing in water teeming with predators, you're never going to be the fastest hunter. There's a fish on the line, but not for long. Time to take the fish off. There's one battle I don't mind letting him win. Man, you see the size of that? Okay. Tell you what, my nerves are going to be a wreck at the end of this trip. He's pretty delighted with that. I've been rafting in the crocodile-infested floodplains of Australia's Northern Territory, but the waterway has just reached a dead end. Looking like the end of the road for this raft. I think a load shallower again here. Looking properly dry ahead there. I want to keep heading that way. Stitch the raft, come on foot again. Croc skull. Try and get this out. Look at the size of that. Man, look at those teeth. That came down on you. They say it's the same force as a truck landing on top of you. Take you, death roll you, and then literally just rip you limb for limb. Bad way to go. Really, your only chance of surviving a croc attack is either to get lucky and hope the croc lets you go to try and get a better grip of you, or to try and roll with it so it can't shake you. And then go for the eyes. But really, with a big salty, you know, slim chances, really. Just gotta take your time going through this sort of stuff. Not rush it. You want to keep scanning just for any signs of bubbles on the water. So just want to watch out for any of the water lilies moving. It's another indicator of crocs. Gargling so many of these leeches. Now two of them. The whole swamp is just riddled with these guys. What they do, look, you squeeze it, you'll see what they're feeding off. My blood. This is what they'll do, they'll suck on and then inject an anticoagulant. It'll mean you just bleed and bleed till they've had their fill, and then they'll just drop off. The biggest worry about these is you don't get the wound infected in water like this. Environments change quickly here, and I've moved from rainforest into thick tidal mangrove, which means I'm close to the coast. There's 2,500 square miles of it here in the Northern Territory. The dense roots and even heavier mud make it tough to travel through. Okay, we need to find a way through this stuff. Oh, it's horrible. Also, the air is just thick with mosquitoes here. And the danger is getting something like Ross River fever. If you get from mosquitoes, it's going to wipe you out for about 3 months. And this sort of place is a breeding ground for mozzies. Actually, look, just use some mud. Put that on me. And use that to dry and act as a barrier. It's going to stop the mozzies biting. Let's try and pick out the paste. Actually, lots of dead, rotten wood on this tree. Actually, often good places to find mangrove worms as well. But you see, actually, burrows are where they've been. Well, there we go. Look, shooting out the end. Grab him. The Aboriginals would collect dead wood and pile it up for the worms to colonise it. When they next passed through the area, they would harvest the worms and be certain of a good meal. The Aboriginals talk about these tasting like salty oysters. I say that's a compliment to the worm. In the thick mangrove, with few visual references, finding a bearing is difficult. Use a long straight stick like this. It's going to help us keep on our direction, stop us going round and round in circles. Jam it through in a straight line. And then however I weave my way to it, as long as I've weaved my way back to the end of the stick, pick it up, I know I'm going to be online. Also, people tend to have a dominant foot, whether it's left or right. When they're in terrain that's really confusing to stay on course, they'll tend to veer towards that dominant foot and just end up going round and round these slow circles. Finally, I emerge from the mangrove into a clearing. There's footprints ahead, and they're not crocodile. These are human, look. Come, follow. My Arnhem Land encounter is over. An ancient place where Aboriginal hunters have survived in harmony with nature for over 40,000 years. It's an extraordinary place and has been an extraordinary experience. To see more great moments from the show, visit discovery.com/man vs. wild.